Surprised that the creek hasn't started icing over yet. Probably not far off. We finally got a pretty good dose of winter. We got some good snow, foot of snow. Cold temperatures, minus 10 this morning when I woke up. Which is pretty cold for here. And I've had a pretty good week. I've had a good week, and then put some good miles on. Did some really good hikes, and then I had a catastrophe in the filming world. So I got back to my cabin, and can I get across here without wiping out? We're gonna see. Beautiful area. Anyways, sorry, sidetracked. I was pissed this morning. I put one of my my SD card on my camera was getting full, so I took the SD card out and put it in my computer to clear it, to download everything and clear it, and something happened, and I lost a shit ton of footage. And when I say I lost a shit ton, I mean I lost 3 months, not 6 months, but I lost 3 months worth of video. I lost 3 months worth of video, and I lost a lot of the video that I made on this trip. Decided to take a break on the creek, and I sit right beside a cedar tree that's broke off at about 10 feet. Whatever. It is what it is. Oh man. I'm going to turn this camera around for you. I need a break. So I've had a great 4 or 5 days there, running around the mountains like a wild man. It was pretty cool. Had a lot of fun, put on a lot of miles, and got some good video in. And man, everything was going great. And I got back to my cabin there one night, and I noticed that my camera, the SD card of my camera, was filling up. Kept saying flashing. That day it kept flashing storage low, and so I took the SD card out, put it into my computer, micro SD. I wanted to transfer all the video onto my computer to store it, and I don't know what happened, but I lost it. I lost a ton of video. Like I probably lost video from 4 months ago, like the last 4 months on that card. I was just devastated. I was beyond angry. Like I just felt like smashing my computer, and oh, I was pissed. I was like, you are such an idiot. What did you do? And I put the card back into the camera because I can view, when the SD card is in my camera, I can view the footage on my phone, and or on the screen of the camera. Gone. I lost a ton of video. What do you do? What do you do? You live and learn, and I don't know. I just, the thing that pisses me off is I don't know what I did. I just put the micro SD card into my adapter, put it into my device that plugs into my computer, and I hit open files, poof, no files found. And I know they were there because I'd viewed a bunch of them. So anyways, I was able to get a couple videos out for you guys, but I lost a ton from those days, and plus I lost a bunch of my old stuff. I mean, the old stuff, whatever, most of the old stuff has been put onto YouTube or whatever, but I like to keep it for myself, right? It's gone. That's the problem with technology. What do you do? Can't sit here and bitch and complain about it. Well, I can, but I ain't gonna bring it back. So what do I got to share with you? A good buddy of mine stopped in the other day, and he's a First Nations fellow. Him and his wife dropped in. I've known the guy since I was like 16 years old, and he's another one of them Earth Angels. Great man, just a phenomenal human being. So is his wife, and I've known them forever. And he's been a very, very, very good friend of mine since I was 16 years old. And we don't live close by each other anymore. We used to be together all the time, but he still lives where I was born and raised, and I moved away. But we stay in touch, and you know what? We can go months without seeing each other, and then we see each other, and it's just like it was yesterday. Anyways, he popped in. We had a good visit. Great man, and it's funny because he said to me, he goes, "You be careful, damn it. When you're out in the woods and you know you're around these damn forest people," and he's like, "Be careful, man." He goes, "You don't want to end up being a statistic." He goes, "They're not nice. Most of these things are not nice." And he goes, "You know, in our culture, we don't even talk about the sons of bitches because it brings bad luck and whatnot." So anyways, I'm like, "Don't worry, I'll be okay." But you got to heed his warning, right? I listen to him, and I am careful. As careful as I can possibly be. I'm not out looking for him. So I said to him, I'm like, I'm not going to say his name, but I'm like, I'm not out looking for him, man. I'm just out doing my thing, and they're out there as well, and we coexist. So it was nice to see him, and then I had a good chat with Catherine. I don't know, a week ago, just before I got up here, had a good chat with Catherine. Actually, it was on my way. It was on my way up to my cabin for this trip, and I phoned her just to have a chat, and she had sent me an email and said, when you get a chance, give me a call. So I did. I called her on my way up to the cabin, had a little chat with her, and she said there's been some shit going on the property, and they lost one of their goats, and she says, "I know it was them. I know it was them that took the goat." So she said, "Give me a call." I did. Had a chat with her. She seemed a little shook up, actually. So she figures she's kind of in the same frame of mind as me, that there's good and there's bad, and she thinks it was one of the bad ones that came in and took her goat. No real proof, she didn't see it or nothing, but she's just like, the goat was gone. It was in the barn, and the barn door was closed, not latched, but closed. And could have swore I heard a bang. I have to rewatch this and see if I could have. Yeah, I just heard another one. That was a loud bang. hope you guys heard that. Anyways, she said, yeah, the doors to the barn were closed, not latched, and she went out there in the morning to make sure the goats had water and feed them, and one was gone. And she says, I just have a gut feeling that one of those bad buggers came in and took the goat. So we chatted for a bit, and she's still having encounters with these friggin' things on her property. Mostly good, but she considers that a bad one, and she's not very happy about it. So told her I'd give her a shout when I get back, and I will. And then, of course, when I got to my cabin, I just got to the cabin, was just packing my gear to head out. And Fred called, Fred Roll, subarctic Alaskan Sasquatch, and I had a good chat with Fred, great guy. And I said, Fred, I'll give you a call when I get back, and I will. I'll call Fred and we'll have a conversation again, I hope. Anyways, I'm not going to sit around too long because I'm freaking cold, but I wanted to hammer off a couple more emails and try to get a few more off the list. Mr. Outlaw, I wanted to drop you a note for some time now, but every time I try to sit down and send you an email, I get busy and simply forget. It's late September now, and I'm getting my shit together for another winter on the trap line. So I thought I'd better get this out to you before I leave, else another winter will come and go before I get a chance to email you again. I'm 62 now, and I've been trapping in the interior of Alaska for over 35 years. My wife and I spend the summer months in town, and I head to the line usually mid to late September and stay until early spring. I obviously can't watch any of your videos through the winter, but I got hooked on them last spring and have watched every episode you've put out. I don't need tell you these damn Bigfoot are real. But there's still a lot of folks out there that believe they're a myth or folklore or some kind. Well, I'm here to damn tell you that they ain't no myth or folklore. These people exist just as you and I do. And I know that sure as I know it's getting... And I know that sure as I know it gets dark when the sun goes down. I've known about these beings my entire life, and I can't count how many times I've been in their presence over the past 35 years. I first saw their tracks in the mid-'80s when I bought my first trap line in Alaska, and I knew exactly what I was looking at when I saw them. The feet were 3 times the size of mine and close to 3 times the width. It was late November, and the tracks were clear as could be in the snow on my trail. My snow machine packs trail down, but these prints were sunk a couple inches into the packed snow, and it was walking down my trail. The footprints were about 8 feet apart, way farther than any human could stride. It walked my trail for maybe a quarter mile, and then stepped off the trail and went straight up the steep bank, all the way to the top of the mountain. I looked at the steps through my binoculars, and it didn't appear to stop or miss a stride the entire way. 2 years later, I was checking my line, and I seen one walking down the creek, maybe a mile from where I was. I was on the side of the mountain working up another small creek off the main river, and I saw this massive bugger with the naked eye a mile away. This thing was huge. And it walked diagonally across the creek into the timber. And up into the valley across from me. The most terrifying encounter I ever had happened about 10 years ago when I was walking a short loop from my cabin where I had some marten sets. And I was on my trail that followed the creek when I noticed something down the creek, maybe 100 yards away. When I first saw it, I thought, moose. And in fact, it was a moose, but it was dead. and there was something that appeared to be feeding on the carcass. And that's when I thought, oh shit, winter grizz. I do carry a 45-70 with me on the line when I'm hiking, and as I slid the rifle off my shoulder, 2 damn Bigfoot stood up on either side of this cow moose, and one of them had the entire rear quarter ripped off this cow, and it's in its damn hand like a man would hold a turkey drumstick. When these buggers stood up, I froze solid. I couldn't move. My rifle was now slung over my hand, but I couldn't grab it. Both these things looked at me and walked to my left quickly and disappeared. The one was carrying the hind quarter as they walked away. It was unbelievable. Maybe 20 seconds later, I was able to move my arms, grab my rifle, and be ready to shoot whatever moved. I never saw another thing, so I turned back and headed for the cabin. Now, this bloody moose carcass wasn't very far from my cabin, so I was a little on edge about what I had seen. A couple of days later, I rode the machine back there and had my rifle ready. But when I got to where the moose was, gone. Absolutely not a bloody thing left, but some clumps of moose hair and these great big footprints all over the place. It was an adult cow moose, not a calf, and there was no drag marks anywhere. These damn things carried that entire moose in 2 feet of snow without leaving a mark. Maybe they carried in chunks, I don't know, but it was gone. There's been other times I've heard them around my cabin and while out on the line, but nothing has ever come of it. I'll tell you what, man, I know they ain't never done nothing to me, but I sure as hell don't trust them. I do think they can be very dangerous, and I do believe they'll kill anything at any time to survive. Some think grizzly wolves or Wolverine are the ultimate predator, but that's because they don't know about or don't believe in Bigfoot. I feel very sorry for those people if they spend time in the woods, because you gotta know what's out there if you want to play in their sandbox. From one mountain man to another, Darren, please be careful on your adventures and always watch your back. I know you've got a superior gut instinct, but I also believe these buggers have ways of fooling even the most seasoned bushmen. They are without a doubt the ultimate predator, and they choose what to kill and when to kill it. For them, it's a matter of survival, and it is as it is with many of the critters in these woods. Sorry guys, I don't know what the hell happened. I was reading and I looked in the camera, it just shut off. Battery's fully charged. I have no idea what happened, so I apologize. For them, it's a matter of survival, as it is with many of the critters in these woods. Kill or be killed. That's Mother Nature. I'll leave you my phone number if you want to call in the spring or summer. Good luck hunting, and be careful on your next solo trip as well. Be good out there, and if you're ever in Alaska, look me up. Dennis Morgan. Well, thanks, Dennis. You damn right, so I'll look you up. If I'm ever up there. Guaranteed. And I'll reach out to you here in the spring. Appreciate that, man. I think there's probably so many of you types of fellows, men and women, living out in the woods, trappers, whatever, that type of lifestyle, that probably have so much to share with all of us, and I really appreciate it. I'm sure everybody else does as well. I've heard probably 4 or 5 times at least of these things, killing an animal in front of somebody, a pet, stealing animals off, like from Lake Catherine, from the farm or whatever. And I've heard a lot of that. And I mean, let's face it, they're a predator, right? And sounds like to me, in my opinion, they are the ultimate predator. And they got to eat, right? They got to eat, and they'll forage, and they'll scrounge, and they'll feed on anything that they can feed on. So, but man, it sounds like they're in your neighborhood, in your area where your cabin is and stuff, and that's a little frightening. I guess you probably just do like I do. You just go out and do your thing, and if, as long as they leave you alone, right? But pretty wild. And yeah, to see them feeding on or ripping apart a moose carcass like a grizzly, or wolves or whatever, like that's unreal. Anyways, I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. I will reach out to you. Hope you have a good, safe trapping season. I love talking to these old trappers and homesteaders. I love it. I remember I told you guys that story a few days or a week ago or whatever about those people homesteading out in that valley that I went deer hunting in, and people from central British Columbia will know a little bit about that. They're kind of like a clan of people, like a group. They're not a religious group or nothing. They just basically decided to cut themselves away from society and go live in the bush. And there's a valley that they live in that's well known to people that hunt and from that area. So, but anyways, I just love talking to people like that. I wish back then I wasn't so scared of that guy when he approached me. Otherwise, I would have talked to him some more. Okay, one more, and then I'm going to go because I'm freezing. Dear brother of the woods, I want to thank you for having a place for us all to come tell our encounters. I am from Maryland. In 1987, I herniated 3 discs at work. I was saving for college, but the woods were my frontier and my sanctuary. The surgery went wrong and left me disabled. I then discovered a year later that I had Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. Cool. And many other health issues, and has kept me pretty much housebound. My youngest brother Donnie and I wanted to see new things, and my other younger brother Tim, along with his wife, were camping while their house was being built in East Tennessee. They invited us to come and go camping. This is where I was, a place called Douglas Dam, where there is a headwater where people barbecue and run their boats and swim. Tailwater was the campground. As we arrived, my brother was the last campsite on the premise. There was a 7-foot fence which we put our tents, which I needed the support from my back. The first night was quiet. Surrounded by a faster current, I slept like a baby. The second night at dusk, I caught two huge largemouth bass, and they were cooked right away. It was at 11 p.m. I suggested we lay down for the night, so my youngest brother, who was like my twin, climbed in our tents and became settled, and as brothers teasing one another till we fell asleep. I woke suddenly because of the disgusting odor. I thought my brother had passed gas, so I hit him with my pillow. I dozed back off. Then I felt something poking me. I sat up quickly, listening very intent, and realized it felt like a thick knuckle poked me 3 times. I called out to see who was there, but nothing but deep breaths. I could not fall back asleep. It was the strangest thing. The next morning, having our coffee and breakfast, I shared what happened. All thought it was a black bear. I argued that there was no way it was a black bear. It was poking me where I had back surgery. I heard something bipedal walking away with very heavy footsteps. There were leaves and trees all on the other side. I have since lost both of my dear brothers. Eventually all agreed it had to be a Bigfoot. Well, that's my experience. Thanks for letting me tell. Robbie. Appreciate it, Robbie. Thanks, man. Very sorry to hear about your back surgery going wrong. That sucks. That's awful, man. I had 3 herniated discs as well. L3, 4, and 5. And it's the worst thing ever. And I didn't need surgery, thank goodness. Sorry to hear yours went south. Terrible. So many people probably So many people probably hear things camping or when they're out hiking or whatever, and they just brush it off to nature. And you know what it is? It is nature. And whether it's a bear, cougar, wolf, moose, deer, elk, Bigfoot, whatever, it's all part of nature, right? And people fear what they don't know. People fear what they don't know. The fear of the unknown is a common saying, right? And that's why I think it's just important to, you don't need to fear, in my opinion anyways, whatever. In my opinion, you don't need to fear these beings. Okay, they're part of nature. They're just like a grizzly bear, a wolverine, wolf, whatever. They could kill you like that. Okay, but a human being with a gun can kill you like that. And honestly, you got a better chance of being killed by another human being with a gun than you do by a wild animal. Guaranteed. I don't know the stats on that. I'm just making that up, but I guarantee you that more people die every year at the hand of man with guns than by wild animals out in the bush. That's why I choose this over the cities, right? Any day of the week. Any day of the week. Shit hits the fan, shit goes south, world war, where I'm feeling my life is threatened. Poof, I'm gone. Take my family, you'll never see me again. Hope to God it never comes to that, but I just feel way more at peace and way more comfortable in the woods than I do in any kind of city. And that's a fact. But yeah, crazy, man. I've heard stories before where people say they've been poked through the tent or whatever, you know. Yeah, it's enough to scare the living shit out of you, that's for sure, isn't it? I mean, who knows? Could have been a bear, you never know. But you were there. It happened to you. And if you are confident that it was one of these people, then that's probably what it was. Anyhow, I'm still reeling over losing all my footage. Oh my God. If anybody can comment below about what I may have done or whatever, and how to avoid that in the future, please let me know. I don't want that to happen again. I feel like such an idiot. Anyways, it's time for me to rock and roll. Time for me to go home. It's time for me to go home. Recoup for a couple of days. Put a lot of miles on you guys. A lot of miles. And everybody that does hiking, you know what it's like when you hike in 12 to 16 inches of snow. Where I was the other day was way more than that, like probably up to 2 feet. Tough go. Didn't know I didn't have snowshoes. But put my trail cams up. Never got to my favorite lake, but that's okay. It's just too much snow, but I'll get in there in the spring, do some fishing. All right, you guys, I gotta roll. You be good, be safe, get out, do something you love to do, and be a good person. Be a good person. The world needs more good people. The world doesn't need any more assholes. There's enough of them around. And unfortunately, a lot of them are in powers of authority. You know what? I just don't involve myself in that shit. I don't involve myself in... I told y'all I don't watch TV. Just got another snowball thrown at me. You see that? Remember that from the other video? Jesus. I was like, what the hell? Yeah, I don't watch TV. I don't follow the news. Honestly, because I just don't give a shit. Sorry, maybe it's not a good way to be, but I worry about the things that are within my control and within the things that are able to make me happy, and that's my family, my friends, and getting out in the woods and fishing and hunting, and those are the things that I put my time and effort into, not shit that I can't do anything about. So, don't know if it's right or wrong. Don't care. Doesn't matter. It's right for me. Works for me. I will not watch the news anymore, ever. You had to have heard that. I think it's time to go. That was like the third or fourth pretty damn distinct knock. Bang. It's time for me to go. All right. You guys be good. We'll talk to you soon. I'm out. What a beautiful forest up here. This is only a short hike up off the old deactivated road. Beautiful timber in here. Be good hunting in here. Some of this timber, man, oh man. This is big stuff. And that's not even old growth. Old growth firs be even bigger than that. There's fir and hemlock in here, some cedar. This is probably second growth, I would say. Not for sure. I don't know for sure. My man Eric Nelson would know. One of my subscribers, him and I become pretty good friends. Look at that big old tree. Holy. Look at the size of this thing. You think that's not a big tree? My God. Massive. Massive tree. Big old naughty old fir, hey? Look at that. Holy. Splits at the top. There's some big wood in here. Anyways, Eric would know. Which reminds me, hopefully I'll remember to do this when I'm editing this video. I gotta show you guys a video that Eric sent me from his house. Eric's had some pretty wild encounters with these people, with these Bigfoot people over the years. Been followed by them and whatnot. And Eric, he's had a lot of strange happenings. Lifelong logger, another logger, right? Faller. Around a lot of equipment and whatnot. And yeah, he's had quite a few encounters over the years. And anyways, he just sent me an email. Got a hold of me, texted me, and included a video clip of these crazy lights at his house. Him and his wife witnessed. So I will try to remember to share that in this video, maybe right now.
It's crazy.
What'd you guys think of that? That's pretty bizarre, eh? I've never really had much encounters. I've never had any kind of encounters with like UFOs or crazy lights or anything like that in the sky, but I know a lot of people that have. It's pretty wild. Can't believe I haven't seen a single deer in here. That's beautiful country for deer. Holy. Like, super nice. Anyways, let's hope that I don't delete all this footage like I did there a few days ago. Man, oh man. Big timber, eh? Big timber, another big tree here. There's some really nice stuff in here. God, I hope we don't log this one day. No offense, Eric. Or any other loggers that are watching. Speaking of loggers, my uncle. I talked to him. Remember the uncle that I said he's like in his early 70s and still working? Yeah. Animal. And I did have a chat with him the other day. He said, hey, I don't have time to bullshit right now. I got damn work to do. But we talked for 15 minutes or whatever, and he's like, I'll get a hold of you later. Maybe one night we'll sit together and have a few drinks and have a chat. And I said, that'd be awesome. So I will reach back out to him again. 70, I think he's about 73. He's had cancer like forever. Smokes, drinks, and works 12-hour days. Has his whole life. But we'll chat again because he's like, oh yeah. He goes, pardon, I'm not taking the Lord's name in vain, people, but he's like, oh yeah, those goddamn things are everywhere out here. You gotta really watch yourself when you're working. He doesn't play, he just works. So I'll have a chat with him again here soon. All right, I'm gonna rock and roll. We'll catch you all later on. Out.